Tonight, still on the lookout. An update from police on the search for some stolen teepees. Plus, a sticking point for safety.
A small piece of tape can have a big impact on safety. Coming up, I'll explain why students are getting a little extra shine on their backpacks.
And later, diving into data.
How's it going, John, Amy, and Butte? A new data center would like to locate here. What are data centers, and why are some people concerned?
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, and thanks for trusting MTN for your 530 News. I'm Tim McGonigal. We begin with an update from Great Falls. A viewer asked us to check on the status of a pair of stolen teepees. Now, according to the Great Falls Police, the investigation continues into those teepees taken from Great Falls schools in late September. And police say they're still working to track them down. GFPD tells us they've been receiving multiple tips from the public, and they're actively following up on each one. The department says the case remains open. The teepees were stolen from Chief Joseph Elementary School and Loy Elementary, where they were part of a cultural education program. If you have any information about who committed these crimes or where the teepees are now, you can check our website for resources regarding submitting information. A Great Falls business owner who told an undercover agent about skimming cash from his gun store has agreed to plead guilty to tax fraud. Tommy Michael Van Hoos owned Highwood Creek Outfitters, a firearms distributor and shooting range. When he put the business up for sale for $1.75 million, an IRS undercover agent posed as a potential buyer. During a tour of the business, Van Hoos told the agent he skimmed about $450,000 in cash. He said he didn't report 20% of his gross receipts to the IRS. Federal prosecutors say Van Hoos underreported nearly $1.5 million in income over 5 years, and that cost the IRS almost $500,000 in unpaid taxes. Van Hoos faces up to 3 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. His change of plea hearing is set for Thursday.
It has been another gusty day in north central Montana as peak wind gusts have been over 30 miles per hour in most spots, with several locations seeing peak wind gusts over 40 miles per hour. Gun Lake and Deep Creek, both of which are near Glacier National Park, had peak wind gusts over 70 miles per hour during the day today. Browning had a peak wind gust of 58 miles per hour. Cascade and Judith Peak had a peak wind gust of 50 miles per hour. Cut Bank saw a wind gust of 46 miles per hour. And in Great Falls, we had a peak wind gust of 38 miles per hour. It's still breezy in some areas right now, but the wind has started to diminish, and it will continue to diminish as we go through the rest of this evening. It also feels very nice outside right now as temperatures are in the mid to upper 50s and low to mid 60s, and these temperatures are about 5 to 15 degrees warmer than the temperatures were yesterday at this time. These mild temperatures will be sticking around for the rest of this week, and I'll have a look at your forecast for the rest of this week in just a few minutes.
Great Falls Public Schools knows that when it comes to student safety, it's important for children to be seen. That's why the district is making an effort to get their students to stand out. Today, the district handed out thousands of strips of reflective tape as part of Pedestrian Safety Month. MTN's Madison Collier was there for the distribution.
As mornings grow darker and afternoons shorter, staying visible on the way to school is more important than ever. That's why students across Great Falls are getting a bright new addition to their backpacks.
Our transportation department decided to do something for Pedestrian Safety Month, just to provide one more layer of safety for kids as they're walking to and from school.
5,270 pre-kindergarten through 6th grade students from across 15 elementary schools received a reflective strip designed to catch drivers' eyes during those dim morning commutes.
They're safer because they know that people can see them walking, and so they won't get hurt.
And it's not just students who notice the difference.
The tape helps a whole lot. It's going to, especially at night or during the day when it gets really dark in the morning, it's gonna help quite a bit, because the cars fly through here, and like when there's snow and the wind and like darkness, it would help a whole lot.
The initiative is part of Great Falls Public Schools' push for pedestrian safety, encouraging parents and drivers to slow down, stay alert, and keep an eye out for kids crossing the street.
Have that conversation with kids about walking to and from school and how to cross the streets and how to
not play in the streets and those sort of things. So really, I just want that conversation to be had with their parents to be able to keep them safe.
It may be a small addition, but it's one that helps keep students safe on their way to and from school every day. In Great Falls, Madison Collier, MTN News.
Healthcare remains at the heart of the government shutdown, which is now in its 21st day, and soon open enrollment for health plans will open. A new poll finds the majority of Americans aren't worried about higher healthcare costs next year, and a significant number are concerned about losing insurance. Scripps News Group's Andrew Rafferty goes inside the numbers.
Well, millions of Americans will soon be choosing their health care plans for the coming year, and for many of us, it's a process filled with jargon, confusion, and perhaps frustration when we find that those rates might go up. But one thing is clear, that Americans are increasingly anxious over what health care will cost going forward. Take a look at this. It's a new poll from the AP and NORC, and it finds that nearly 6 in 10 Americans, 57%, say they are very or extremely concerned over the rising costs of health care. Large numbers are also worried about potential dire outcomes. 38% worry about losing insurance, and more than 4 in 10 Americans fear they may not be able to pay for needed medications. The anxiety comes amid expert analysis showing Americans should expect the cost of their health care to rise in 2026. And as Affordable Care Act exchanges begin to show prices rising. The full scope of next year's healthcare costs won't fully be known until next month when many companies begin open enrollment. But the issue has been at the center of the shutdown debate here in Washington and continues as Democrats attempt to ensure healthcare subsidies are included in a funding deal. And while this poll showed that the economy remains the main concern of voters, healthcare was first in line behind it, showcasing the political importance of the issue heading into a midterm election year. Andrew Rafferty, Scripps News, Washington.
In June, we told you that Atlanta-based TAC was making plans to build a data center campus in Great Falls. Well, a Washington state-based company is considering the Butte area for its new data center. And while they can provide an economic boost for communities, data centers have also raised concerns about their impact. MTN's John Amy recently attended a public meeting in the mining city where some of those issues came up.
Data centers have been popping up across the world and here in Butte, with more to come. Some are cautioning embracing them too quickly in case this booming industry becomes a bust.
Let's curb our enthusiasm a little bit and let's ask some questions before we jump on the bandwagon.
In April, the Washington-based Saby Data Centers entered a land sale agreement with Butte Silverbow to purchase 600 acres to build a data center at the Montana Connections Industrial Park south of Butte. A data center is a large warehouse that houses computer servers for data storage. A community meeting was held recently by people concerned about the economic and environmental impacts of data centers.
I think that we need to be very cautious and make sure what we do is of long-term benefit to the people of Butte and the people of Montana.
Some of the concerns with these facilities is they often use high amounts of electricity and water.
And that is what concerns us, because where does that power come from and who pays for it? Where does the water come from and who's not going to get their water as a result?
Butte Chief Executive J.P. Gallagher says these concerns will be addressed at further public hearings, but says he supports this data center.
We went out and toured the Quincy, Washington facility and saw what the economic impact was. And we met with school leaders and local government leaders about what that impact is. And so there is a benefit.
While the estimated $1 billion investment would bring construction jobs, some are concerned about the long-term stability of data centers.
China went gangbusters on data centers, and now they're sitting empty. Not all of them, but there are data centers already in China sitting empty.
Gallagher said this industry is important to the country and Butte should be a part of it.
Data centers are essential to the success of the United States. And so, Butte has always been positioned to be a part of what's happened in adding to national security and the development of electricity and energy. And again, we're positioned to be a player in that market as well.
Messages left with Saby Data Centers was not returned by deadline. In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
Northwestern Energy and Black Hills Corporation are moving forward with plans to merge, saying they'll be better together. The two utility companies filed a joint application with the Montana Public Service Commission seeking approval for the merger. If approved, the combined company would serve customers across multiple states, including Montana and South Dakota. Both companies say the merger will strengthen reliability, help expand renewable energy projects, and modernize infrastructure. Montana Senator Tim Sheehy's bipartisan Fix Our Forest Act is moving forward after earning strong support from the Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry. The bill aims to improve forest management, reduce wildfire costs, and boost collaboration across state and federal agencies. Sheehy said responsible stewardship isn't a partisan issue, but a necessity for stronger communities and a healthier environment. The legislation includes measures to expand wildfire prevention, speed up forest restoration, and strengthen research and response nationwide.
It's a lot of fun to be able to give back to the community. That's one of the things we love to do as a family-owned company.
Ahead, passing out pumpkins. Students get their share of grown in Montana gourds.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Elementary students around the Great Falls area are getting in the Halloween spirit. They're also getting a better understanding of where their jack-o'-lanterns come from. MTN's Quentin Shores was on hand to capture the smiles during Torgerson's annual Great Pumpkin Giveaway.
As we approach October 31st, Giant Springs Elementary has a tradition that gets kids a little more into the Halloween spirit.
I just get to enjoy watching the kids' faces and yeah, it's a lot of fun to be able to give back to the community.
Ferguson's Equipment, a farm and ranch supply business, has been giving away pumpkins to schools across Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming for around 20 years now. It serves their mission of teaching kids about agriculture while bringing joy to the kids of our community.
The littlest girl ends up with a pumpkin. She's got to roll across the ground. That's so fun to see. But we just try to help them pick the right pumpkin for them.
The tradition of pumpkins during Halloween time dates back to ancient Irish practices of carving root vegetables to ward off spirits. Irish immigrants brought this tradition to America and carved up pumpkins because they were easy to access. But in the year 2025, vegetables have gotten more expensive, pumpkins included.
Many of our students are underserved, and seeing the community and the businesses bring these pumpkins in for our kiddos who otherwise might miss out on the opportunity for such a core memory of childhood.
For the teachers of Giant Springs, it means a lot. For the kids, what are you going to do with the pumpkin?
Throw it in the road.
It's just good fun. They get to go home and carve the pumpkin with their families, trick or treat, and come back to the classroom to learn more about pumpkins through science and writing. To date, Turgeson's has given away over 43,000 pumpkins to schools across America.
It's really expanded, but it's always fun to see the kids and see their faces and see how excited they are about this. So,
for them, it's really about the education and community. In Great Falls, I'm Quentin Shores, MTN News.